Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing pretty well, Ed. How about you?
Doing good. Getting people into contract. They're liking the new 0.5% lower rates. I mean,
I know
it's not major, but it's still something.
You got me excited. It's going in the direction I like to see it.
Right. Well, the question is it going to stay here?
Yeah.
And the real question is, we had, like I said, 3 reports last week. I think it's talked about on Tuesday that showed the unemployment's going the way we want it, and the leading indicator is if it's up 0.5% during this thing, there's this scholastic indicator that, but we're almost there. So they're saying we're not going to see that till the first part of the first quarter. And remember, all this stuff is hindsight.
Yeah,
right? We feel it while we're in it, but the numbers don't show until after the fact.
Well, and I was going to say, I think this was it this last May when there were some people saying like, oh yeah, rates are going to drop. And
didn't you have somebody come in your office and tell you guys?
Yeah, that we did.
And are they still showing up?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. But yeah, it was like, all right, May 11th, rates are coming down.
Well, it's Barry Habib kept saying certain things was going to happen. And the problem is that he'd said this, and then these other things didn't happen that we were expecting to happen. And that was the problem. That's why I stopped saying it exactly. I kept saying, well, I'm hearing it's supposed to be this, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. And
then someone else said September. I'm like, I don't see it yet. Now I'm starting to see this with the numbers, with the unemployment finally getting beaten. So it's a household survey I look at. So the numbers that they actually report on the BLS jobs report that came out last Friday, there's 2 surveys. Mm-hmm. There's the employer survey, which is still showing they're holding on to the people and it's killing them. And I say, you can't run a business on hope, right? That's just not one way to run a business.
Yeah.
The household survey, when they call and find, that's the one that they saw the unemployment rate went up. People aren't working. And it's not the quitters that quitted before. It's people actually they're losing their jobs. I talked to a few people I know personally, and they know a few managers, higher up people who've been laid off.
Yeah.
And they're starting to see some of it. We're worried that we're going to see it at Christmas time, like National Lampoon's Vacation. I'm getting a bonus so I can put a pool in. No, you got laid off.
Oh man.
You probably don't remember that movie.
I don't think
you were a baby at that time.
Probably. Yeah. 82
National Lampoon's. Yeah. Anyway,
so one of the things I want to talk about, obviously we already know that there's some caveats to getting a VA offer accepted, right? But now
having educated agents on both sides.
Correct. Yeah. Everyone knows how to work with VA, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the other caveat of, okay, well now you get into contract, and you get inspections, so I think a lot of times, especially first time home buyers, they don't understand the game, right? Like
you're talking about the actual inspection report, not the pest report. We're talking about this. So people, because here's the problem. When people think inspections, they think appraisal, the new buyers, because they haven't read my book. They think inspection is the appraisal when it's not the appraisal. Inspections are pest report, roof, and the home inspection. And that's what you're talking about. I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah. And so, like we've always said, the inspection is supposed to tell you, hey, you know what, this house is ugly and it's got all kinds of problems, right?
They're gonna tell you how horrible. You know what this is? This is like here. They're gonna tell you everything bad about you, which isn't always true.
Yeah.
How about that? That actually might work. But anyway, go on.
Well, I was gonna say, so you really gotta you don't take these things with a grain of salt, but you got to look at your major systems, right?
Right.
So recently there's a home that I have in contract. And the home inspector they had, very thorough. I would imagine he spent 3+ hours at the house with like how much detailed stuff, but it's so much that like the buyer just kind of got overwhelmed, and they're like, wait a minute, this is like a house built in 1989. Why is so much wrong with it? And they're saying, the heating system should be replaced because it's no longer as efficient as before. And like current stuff, and it's like, does it work? Does the heat turn on? Does it cool? Right? Okay.
But technically is right, because when you have an air conditioner over 25 years old, they don't work as well as they used to.
True. And there's always going to be newer iterations, right?
Mm-hmm. But the question is, how ugly is your baby?
Yeah.
And what are the most important things to look at? And I get what you're saying, and I don't want to take away from what you're saying, because their job is to tell you how ugly that house is and you shouldn't buy it. It's your responsibility with your agent to go through it and see what's the most important things to get fixed or not get fixed.
Yeah. I mean, they're even checking water pressure. It's like, well, when you're on a city system and it's a newer house with copper pipes, this is just an example of like,
but they always do that, right? So they have the sink running and flush the toilet and see but the question really is, what kind of toilet is that? Is that a low flow toilet? Right. I mean,
you're going to recommend to replace the toilets now? Cause they're 2 gallons instead of 1.2, it's,
well, I'm just saying, because how do you know water pressure if it's that is, or other things? I mean, the sink, older homes, 1950 home, like we had issues with water pressure because the pipes had crap in them from 50 plus years of, I replaced all the pipes under the house and now we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
But that also costs money. But I'm just saying, you can't just say, well, this is an issue. Well, yes, of course it might be an issue, but there might be something you can do that's easy to fix.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Like, you can always say this might be an issue. And as a homeowner, I always tell my clients, start your house repair fund day one, if you don't have any cash on hand when you close, because things will go wrong in a house. I mean, things break and it's where you live. And now that you own the house, you fix it, not the landlord. But
you also build equity.
Exactly.
Instead of the landlord.
You're getting the equity, right?
Right. And the write-off, potentially, all the stuff you do to it.
Yeah. But the house doesn't care if you own it or someone else, it's going to break.
Well, it's like a car. I mean, some people like older cars and some people don't like older cars.
Yeah.
Some people, the same. I like older streets with bigger trees, and some people like new streets with no trees.
Isn't that so weird? Like, what's that neighborhood going to look like in 30 years?
Like this neighborhood, and then they're going to go, there's issues with the houses.
Oh,
every neighborhood goes through economic changes. They first get built and then they go down over the next 20, 30 years. And then somebody comes in and they build them back up because the people are selling the homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How that always works. All right. So bottom line is, be careful with your home inspection, reading into everything. They're going to tell you everything wrong with it. But that water pressure thing, the biggest thing you want to know is, how's the electrical? How is the overall of the house and the pests and roof? Is there any leaks on the roof?
Yeah.
Those kind of things. There's certain things you need to know, because I've had it now where on the appraisal report, in the garage, somebody added additional wiring and another outlet, but it was curled and not put in the wall like it should have been. So they called that to be repaired, to a point where every piece of wiring in the garage has to be covered.
And not just in conduit.
Well, that's what I mean, in conduit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where older garages don't have conduit.
No, you have wires running through the walls.
Right. So now slap up sheetrock now. If I had an older garage, I'd make sure I had insulation and sheetrock on it. That's all I would say.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Just because two things that makes it so much nicer garage, right? If you want to do work in there, you could always get one of those little coolers, that you can get at Home Depot and put in there. What are those split systems?
Oh yeah, the mini splits. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have a nice cool garage. You can get an insulated garage door. And now you can actually work in there and it'd be 70 degrees or turn into a workout area.
Yeah.
I just don't have my mini split yet. I got to get it this year.
I got a guy who can set you up, man.
I got a guy too.
Oh, okay.
But is it family? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's weird because they sell them at Home Depot now. Do it yourself. I'm like, I wonder how good that is.
No. Well, yeah.
I'm not saying that is your guy. I'm just saying.
Oh, no. I'm saying like, well, so here's the problem. You got to vacuum the system out. So you have to bring it down to like 20 inches of mercury before you can put charge in. So if with the DIY stuff, I don't know how they do that.
Right. I don't know either. I've seen the things on TikTok everywhere about, Mr. Cool.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to look into it further. Sounds like because the biggest thing is you don't want contaminants,
No, you don't. That's just like your own vehicle. Why you're not supposed to work on your own air conditioning on your vehicle.
Oh, I fixed mine.
I know, but you're not supposed to. Same thing. You don't want crap in there. Well, that's some people know how to do it and some people don't.
Yeah.
Take it somewhere to have the freon put in, worst case.
I got a vacuum pump and gauges. So
there you go.
Give me a call.
Bobby does everything. Welding, fences,
Hey, I'm frugal, man. I grew up poor like you, dude. So I learned how to do everything.
Yeah, I know how to do it. It's just a matter of, do I want to spend the money?
Yeah. Well, see, you're at the point now where you can pay people, right?
Well, not today.
No.
Not with this market. This market's a little different than it was.
We're getting back there then. Huh?
Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we get more houses on the market, that's not going to be for a while. When we're stuck at this amount of level of homes, it's still, I need a couple 100,000 loan officers to leave the market, not just 100,000.
I'm going to say, have they shown like the statistics as far as loan officers and realtors, like here in our area?
Not in our area. The number was just nationwide was 100,000.
No kidding.
Yeah. For loan officers. And I think real estate agents was 75, but people are now starting to come back in on real estate side. It's like, okay, yeah. It's a good time to learn. Yeah, whatever, move on. If I was a new agent, I'd go to work for a builder. If there was any builders building homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is if they're only selling 30 homes or 100 homes in a few months, that's not a lot of work. So,
yeah.
Everybody gets in contract and okay, well, sales office, what are you guys going to do for the next 3 months?
Yeah.
Because they usually have like so many houses a week doing this, so many houses a week doing this. They set it up a certain way.
Gotcha.
So we just need more homes built in our area, and we're not doing that right now.
Well, if the plan for the Riverwalk, end up getting approved in Riverbank, then
that's still not enough homes.
More. I know, and I was gonna say, but that's really like the only place we're seeing like them really kind of develop.
Mm-hmm. They're ahead of it. Modesto's really not. I mean,
yeah.
We just need the almond prices to keep going down. Everybody's going to go pull out our trees, put homes in.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened last time, 2005, 2003, and whatever. They're all in almond orchards, other orchards that people didn't want anymore.
A buddy of mine, he has a pistachio orchard. I guess I bet you anything that's where people are going to go because pistachio prices are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the problem with almonds is people have let their trees go, and there's a worm that gets in there, and now it's killing all the other ones.
So gotcha.
It's ruining the supply. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but that's way off of VA.
Unless you're a VA farmer.
Well, but you can't buy a house under a VA farmer.
See.
Yeah, but I can do a VA loan on a off-grid house.
Yeah,
on acreage. It would, no matter, as long as it's normal for the area, which is on, then I have a guy just moved up to the middle of nowhere because everywhere else is in that area was the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can do USDA there too.
That's right. As long as it's not an income producing property, right?
Yeah. That is the major issue.
Gotcha.
Income producing because I did a conventional loan Fannie and Freddie do not like the word farm, period. Even if it's a hobby farm, they don't want the word farm anywhere on anything.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So if you have a property that has a lease that someone's using the almonds or alfalfa or whatever, you can't get a regular Fannie Freddie loan on it.
Gotcha.
Because they record those leases, by the way.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have as a veteran. Don't shy away from this market. Now is the time. In a few more months, it's going to be much harder for you to get in. Yes, I know rates aren't the best. They're getting better, but you have a IRRRL with a VA home loan that you can refinance it multiple times every 210 days to get your rate down. And it's a very easy and cheap way of doing it.
Perfect.
All right. Make it a great day. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for being here, Bobby.
Thank you.